Welcome back, Sloka. This is part 2. So what I did was I took my marker and I started dotting some lines up here. And then I basically just filled in this area here and this area here and this area here. And then I kind of made this my point, and even though it's different than that, which is fine, and I brought some lines out here. So really it's going to be what it's going to be. Students, if you want to spend a lot of time on this, and the more dots that you make, the more interesting it's going to be. If you have a super thin Sharpie, it will also change the dots that you can put in there. So now I can go through this area here and add some little dots if I want to fill this area in so that these lines really stick out. You can kind of see that, how that works. And it changes it. I go in that eye with a little Sharpie. And fill some of that in as well. It looks like I've got a little darker area here. So I'm going to put some extra dots there. So you can kind of see how it starts to fill itself out. I'll go back up in here. Put my little dots in here, just so I don't forget. And that's with a really, really fine tip Sharpie. Okay? And like I said, it's going to look cool no matter what. But it's going to look, different depending on how much time you spend on it. Okay, the second part here, this is pencil. So I'm going to draw a line across here and create this. And then really what we're doing is we're kind of continuing our lines on. So this line kind of comes out here, and this line kind of comes across here, and then these lines come down like this. Now, we know that the eagle has feathers, so I'm just going to kind of start to put some feathers, some small little lines coming out of here for some detail. And every time I do it a little bit different. It's about the creative process as well. And there's no perfection. So I'm putting in my feathers here. Okay. Then I might decide to do some longer lines in here. So it's a combination, shorter lines, longer lines is what you're after. And I can take kind of my finger and I can kind of spread that out so it blends. I just do some other lines in here, so a little bit of scribble. And it's really playing with it, so I'm going to go into this section. A little bit longer lines. So it comes down, longer lines in here, longer lines. And you can kind of play with it. Alrighty. Then we go on to the actual colored pencil. So, let's see what I've got as far as the colored pencil goes. Make sure I have a black. There it is. It's a dark brown, which is fine too. So this is really about positive and negative areas. So, as with before, I want us to kind of think about this line that we had here. So it's going to come down here. This line is going to continue on here. This line is going to continue, 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 continue. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make these lines kind of be positive areas. So I'm going to, this was the line that I made that kind of went across. I'm going to open that up and leave it as white. And then this line I'm going to also bring down. So I'm doubling it up, doubling it up, doubling it up. And this one might also have some other kind of lines in here. And these are going to be white inside. I'll show you in a minute. Okay. When we want to use a pencil and we want the color to come out dark, we burnish with it, meaning we push really, really hard. So I have this really dark brown that I'm using, and you can use dark brown or you can use black, whatever you have. But I'm pressing really hard with this, and I'm getting a really dark color. So this is going to be my white, and this is going to be my colored space. Coming down in here. So I want to make sure that I try as hard as I can to get all of the white out of here. Okay, and I'm going to come down with another one. Okay. And then if you go through and you just kind of add just a little bit of scribble to the white, we'll kind of coat it and kind of blend it all in there. Okay. So there are masterpieces and there are projects. And this is definitely a project. A little project that I want you to kind of play with, have some fun with it. On the grid, I was actually going to do a different one with a flag in the background, and I had forgotten that I had this really cool eagle project, and I really wanted to be able to have you do it. So anyway, I hope that it was fun. I hope you learned something new. Thanks for joining me, and make sure that you spend some time on this, okay? Thanks so much.